Okay, so 2 days ago, we started off in Kyoto and we were looking for something to eat and we went and got fire ramen.
We started pretty late in the day.
We did start pretty late. And I don't think we knew what we were walking into when we went to get fire ramen.
Well, we didn't actually plan to get fire ramen. We got on the wrong bus.
Right.
And went the wrong direction. So then we just looked for the closest ramen to us, which was called Fire Ramen. Now, Kayla and Jesse had seen this picture of fire coming out of a ramen bowl. You've been like, ha ha ha, that looks like fun. We should probably go there. Jameson and I just Googled it and we're like, we're going there. It's the closest one.
It's a ramen shop. We're hungry.
So we start walking, and it's all metal and has all of these big.
It had fume hoods, like cooking hoods, above the seats, and I was like, okay, that's weird, but
all metal.
Right.
So we all sit down, and they bring us the man version of bibs that are like yay long.
They brought us like full on
paper aprons with a paper to go over it, and so at this point we're all kind of confused.
Okay.
Like, what's going on?
But we were like, all right. So the last cut, especially when we went to get Tsukemen, it was all really messy. So it's like, okay, it's probably something a little special.
Like that.
But
and then we read the menu, and the menu has like all of these warnings. Please do not touch the bowl. Please do not touch the counter.
Please tie back hair.
Remember to tie back your hair. Please lean backwards.
And we're like,
and then it says,
what?
Don't worry, no one has died yet. And we're like, okay, what did we get into? So they bring out the ramen bowls, and it smells so good. They put us in front of us, and I'm not going to tell you what happens
this
because
ramen,
we'll insert the video right here.
Yeah, but and this ramen, by the way, was covered in green onions, which Katie absolutely loves.
Needless to say, after video clip. It was delicious and definitely experienced. That was a 10 out of 10. We'd all go there again if we had more time, and we definitely suggest it for people.
For like good purposes. Jameson, what shirt are you wearing right now?
Oh, this is the Kyoto Fire Ramen.
Stand up and show us the back.
Menbaka shirt. The restaurant was called Menbaka Kyoto Fire Ramen Restaurant.
And then the back says, no ramen, no life.
Fire.
Which is fucking true. Anyways.
So, after we went to ramen, we decided to go to Osaka because we really wanted to visit Osaka. And we went to the Osaka Aquarium. But first we shopped around Osaka just a little bit.
And Osaka's a fun town. We like Osaka.
Definitely suggest Osaka. Like, compared to Kyoto and Tokyo, we definitely suggest staying in Osaka. Because everybody's really pretty friendly. And it's not as quiet as the rest of Japan. It's more lively. We really liked Osaka. So we go to the Osaka Aquarium, and when we're in line, we meet a French woman named Naomi, who's very, very loud, like louder than me and more talkative than me, which is kind of hard for all of us. But we had fun with her during the aquarium. Learned a little bit about her. That aquarium is absolutely stunning. That's also it's one of the nicest aquariums, the biggest aquariums in the world. We saw some really neat creatures. The really cool thing about it compared to other aquariums I've been to is a lot of the exhibits were all one tank that went down about 6 floors. So they start with fish that stay at the top, and then as you walk down, it's the same tank.
And you walk
around the tank. So there were lots of them where you just walk around and it was a big tank all the way down.
The 6-story one was probably the biggest, and then there were a few that were a little smaller. And then there were like surface ones for the penguins and stuff. So there was definitely a mix.
My favorite was the seals. I'm a seal. Nice fat chubby seal. We all discussed what our mermaid tails would be, which was pretty fun. Jessie was really into that. In fact, she had several mermaid tails. The rest of us were like, oh, I'd be that one. And Jessie was like, I'd be that one, and that one, and that one. Oh, and I really like that one, which was pretty fun. We got to see the ocean there, a bit in Osaka Harbor, which was really cool. There was a magical death trap that we didn't go on. which is the tallest structure.
She's talking about a Ferris wheel.
It's a death trap. So, torture machine that we got to look at, but we did not ride because torture devices should not be built that high.
Kate does not like heights.
After the aquarium, we decided to go to the gay district.
No, we got Yakitori first.
Oh?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was that
We
night.
got
I forgot that we got
Yakitori
yakitori.
Yakitori, for those watching, is food on a stick. You can get several kinds of food on a stick, but
Our
it is
favorite
small food on a stick.
It's potato with cheese.
Because Americans.
Because Americans. But yeah, the yakitori people, every time they came by, either Kayla or I would order another set
More
of food.
Oh, the beef tongue was really
So we kind of
Oh, those
spooked
chicken
these people.
meatballs. Oh, so
See, and I was like, a
good.
huge fan of the pork, like.
Mm-hmm.
But still, everybody's favorite was the potato with cheese,
the potato
Yeah.
with cheese.
which was on a secret menu that none of us could read.
Yep.
So that was really fun to like get a potato
Yeah.
with cheese.
We found out about it because there was one that's just like assortment, and we ordered the assortment, and then we were just like, we want more of that one.
Yep.
So it was pretty delicious. Then we went to the gay bar. And I think I should flip around for Kayla for the gay bar.
Okay. So the gay bar in Japan was pretty interesting because we walked in. It was this place called Frenzy, and it had a very like metallic shiny door. And when you opened the door,
There's another
there's another door, and it had like a little arrow pointing to the side on it. So we thought that meant you had to go further down
We
the
were
hallway.
very confused.
It actually just meant that you had to push that door that way. And when we opened it, we were not prepared for the very flamboyant Australian who was running the bar.
Who definitely looked like a koala bear.
Oh my god.
Like he was round and tubby and
furry.
furry. He looked like he was the embodiment of a koala.
Yeah, like just your stereotypical yet fat Australian. We walked in, and this bar is pretty tiny, but it has like good music that's not too loud, which was definitely refreshing from American bars. Lots of lighting, lots of comfy seats, people around. It became obvious pretty quick that like gaijin, like foreigners, come to this bar. Like the guy speaks Japanese well enough, but like more and more white people showed up. I did talk with him a little bit. I was like, "What is the gay scene like in Japan?" And he was kind of confused by my question. I was like, "Well, because like we have hate crimes in America," and he goes, "Oh no, that doesn't happen here." He's like, "There is not a gay scene in Japan because everyone is so private. Your sexual orientation is your business. Like they just don't talk about those things or congregate to talk about those things. So while there are like gay bars and places for people to get together, they're always gonna be small." And to me, that was actually like kind of refreshing because it's not a big deal, and I really wish it was not a big deal in the States. Like I wish it was handled more like that, though, with a bigger bar.
So, just a side note about this bar. This took a lot of finding because I had to find a lesbian bar or a gay bar that would allow each of us, both genders, because most gay bars in Japan are either men only or women only. So this was the only one that was open. There were 2 total.
Yep.
This was the one that was open that we could get
The
to.
other one was closed on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and we're just like, that's a weird day to pick off.
Mm-hmm.
But this guy immediately does tell us, like, that they make the drinks very strong there, and we're like, we'll be fine.
We weren't fine.
We weren't fine.
So-
Jesse, Jameson, and I had one of these drinks and got pretty hammered off it. Katie, of course, polished off the drink in like 5 more beers because she's a bloody Amazon.
And still walked home.
And like got us all home.
Oh.
She navigated.
No,
Or did you
Kayla
navigate?
navigated.
You navigated.
Excuse me, Jameson, credit where credit is due.
It was like 2 days ago when I was drunk.
So I want to note that Kayla navigated, but you held onto my backpack the whole time.
Yep, that's true.
I was just like,
So we met quite a few people in there. We met 2 like married gay couples, which was really nice. One was Kevin, and I can't remember his partner.
Cameron.
Kevin and Cameron, who was a Taiwanese guy, and his
Indonesian and British.
Indonesian and British husband. Another one were a couple from the States and their, like, friend. Met a nice gay Osakan guy who we, like, started yelling in tandem that Osaka's the best! Because it really is. There was one other girl showed up in the bar. Her name was Palm. She was from Thailand, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. Jesse had a wonderful time talking to her. And we all played a dancing game that Jesse likes to do, which is actually pretty good for breaking the ice, which is each person contributes one dance move, and you just keep building on the dance. So it's this awkward thing, but, like, nobody feels comfortable about dancing in public, especially when you're the only group of 4 people dancing. So we made that work, and we all had a very good time. And then, as Jameson so rudely, falsely recalled, I got everyone home, even though I was also totally drunk. We ended up having to take a taxi, because I was able to get us, from Osaka back to Kyoto Station, but by the time we got back to Kyoto Station, it was nearly midnight. No buses were running. So there's this one taxi just sitting there, and I was like, if the taxi is here this late, he knows he's getting drugs. He knows. So we end up jumping in, and, like, of course, it's not like Salt Lake where if you just tell someone a number, you can figure it out. So I'm like, do you know where, Nonoan Hotel is? Because that's a hotel that's super close to where we're staying. It's right around the corner. Because we were in the Nonoan guest house. So they're, like, right by each other. So I'm like, okay, do you know where this hotel is? And he's like, no. So my phone won't connect, but luckily Katie's does. So we pull up the GPS, and I just kind of spend the ride holding it up for him like an idiot. Which actually worked surprisingly well. This guy drove fast, too. I don't know the equivalent in Imperial, because I'm a filthy American, but he was going like 60 kilometers an hour on the regular.
And we have to note, streets here are tiny. 60 kilometers an hour is way too fast for an American to be taking those streets.
Tiny little streets.
These streets in America would be 25-mile-an-hour zones.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No,
And he's like, no.
I think 60 kilometers an hour is like 35-ish miles an hour.
Yeah.
But when you see these streets, you're like, that is not a street I would... It felt fast.
You'd roll that in America very slowly.
You'd be worried about hitting people.
Yeah.
And this guy's just...
I was like, holy shit. But I was like, I'm not going to tell him he's driving too fast. So we got us to the Lawson's right next to our place, where, of course, we got more snacks. Yeah, because I definitely needed more cake.
We all needed drunk food.
And drunk food, and more cake.
I didn't eat. I went to bed.
At that point, we were all pretty, like, we didn't even bathe. We were like, nope, into bed now.
So every time I went up to get a drink, they'd give me a wider and wider look. And finally he goes, the only person you could probably give you a run for our money was the guy who was taking us to and from the bathroom.
That little kid?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
And I was like, really? And he goes, yeah, he's about 8 every night. And I went,
oh, yeah. So the bathroom in the gay bar was actually broken.
Oh, God.
So, there was a guy who would ferry us upstairs. The gay bar owner had an agreement with the shop upstairs that we could use their bathroom, so you'd have to unlock their store and let us in. It was a very gay, kind of sexualized men's underwear store. So that was an adventure.
and that bathroom also played music.
Yeah. I appreciate the little bathrooms that play, like, the soothing sound of a river while you pee, so your potty noises don't embarrass you or anyone else. But, yeah, we got back and promptly passed right out.
We all made it up the danger stairs.
We made it up the danger stairs, we didn't die.
Which was the most important part of the evening. It was making it up those danger stairs.
Okay, so that was that day. We're done now.
Yay!